Hello everyone, my name is Russ Latow, and this is a review video for the third module in a 6-module series on how to meditate. So I'm actually recording this from a hotel room after a Reiki certification workshop, so if you hear any commotions in the background, it's just folks out in the hallway. So just a really quick overview. So this is, as I said, part of a 6-session workshop on how to meditate. If depending on where you're viewing this video from, if you want to find the videos on the first two, if you visit our a YouTube channel on our website or through our website. So our website is www.healingcenter.ca, and center is spelled CENTER.ca. If you go there, and you'll see a button there that you can click on, that you can visit our YouTube channel, or if you just go to video.healingcenter.ca, you will find our YouTube channel, and if you kind of take a look on our uploaded videos, you'll be able to find the first two. So this is designed as a review for the folks that attended the workshop, but even if you haven't, I believe that watching these videos you will still be able to learn a lot from them. Okay, so a review of the first two workshops, and actually I'm just going to bring up, and I've actually just got it over here, we call it our experience triangle, and as I said, as you watch the first two videos you will understand what that's about. We kind of have been stepping our way through it, so just let me show you what it looks like. So I'm just going to kind of hold it up. Okay, so if you see the triangle, it's got that top layer that's labeled as physical, and then underneath that you have the thoughts and the emotions, and then right at the bottom, just kind of right here, we have the letter I. Okay, so just kind of get a picture of that in your mind. Excellent. So in the first workshop we talked about how in our experience, and I won't go into details because you can just check out the video, but essentially we talked about in our everyday experiences there's sort of three aspects, and as it relates to that triangle there's the physical, which obviously we're very familiar with, and then there's the other two aspects which we're familiar with, but sometimes I don't think we understand the complete role that the other two play, and the other two, as per that triangle, are our thoughts and our emotions. So they're sort of the basic building blocks that we use to build our experience. In the second workshop we went in and talked a little bit about the thoughts aspect of that triangle, and we talked about the four voices, right, and the names of the four voices. So just as a quick review, there's the voice of the accuser, the wounded, the worrier, and the inspirer. And if you want to know more about those, you're going to have to go and check out the second video. In our third workshop we talked about the very bottom of that triangle. So we talked about right here, and here I've written the letter I. I believe in some of the graphics in the other one I've actually drawn a picture of an eye. So we're going to talk about this one here, and yes, I know there's a blank one, and I haven't told you what that is yet, but we will get to that, so stay with us on subsequent modules. So as I said, the physical, the emotions, and the thoughts. And we talked about the thoughts, and now we're going to jump down and we're going to talk about this letter I. Now what's so important about that? And to tell you the truth, I had anticipated in the third module that we would just talk about the emotions, right? Because I mean, the physical we know about, and the thoughts we talked about, so wouldn't it make sense just to kind of keep working our way down? And to tell you the truth, that's initially what I thought. But as I thought more about it and how we're going to work with that layer, that aspect called emotions, I thought it was a good step to skip that and go down. We'll go back to the emotions, but to go down to this letter I, this very bottom of the triangle. And you've probably heard me refer to it in the if you've been to the workshops and checked out the other videos, how that's us. You know, that's the we. That's, you know, this vehicle that we ride around in called a body is very much like a vehicle, and we're sort of the driver inside the vehicle enjoying this experience, and sometimes enjoying this experience called life. And that's the I, and that's that place, that aspect, the spot where we dwell. And that's also our connection point to what you would call, and you know, regardless of what label you wish to use, you know, for it, whether it's God, source, universe. I mean, that's, for our purposes here, that the labeling is irrelevant. It's the aspects of that are important in the role that it plays in our practice of meditation. And so I wanted to talk about that because as we understand that, that gives us a very important foundation to then step up to emotions and how we manage those and how we release them. And so what is this I? And I realize it's us. You could call it your higher self. It's referred to as that. And what is that? Well, that's the essence of who we are. That's who we really are. And the really neat thing about that is in that place, and I've said this phrase so many times when we have our weekly meditations as well, in that place there's perfect peace, perfect stillness, and therefore perfect power. You see, the experience of meditation helps us to begin to look at our world not so much from a perspective of the outside in or from the physical down, so using our triangle, not so much to look at our world from this perspective this way, but to begin to look at our world from this perspective this way. And it's a huge, huge difference. It's, in our physical aspect of the world, stuff happens, right? And in a very real way, we don't have a lot of control over it. We have some and we work with it, but, stuff happens. And so if we use that as our reference point, and if we sort of use our physical, then through our emotions, then through our thoughts, and that kind of defines who we are, it can be a pretty shaky ground. But if we go from the other direction, if we go from this place, from the I, and begin to look at life from that perspective, sort of from a perspective physical is broken and we need to fix it. If we go from the other perspective, it's we're already whole, we just have forgotten. You see the difference? And so if and as we can begin to live life from that place looking out, from that place of completeness, is it manifest? Are we currently living that in our external world? Well, probably not. But that's the process of meditation, and that's the process of life when you think about it. But if we can start to look at the world from that perspective, that's when things begin to change. I know it's been my experience and the experience of so many people that have been in our workshops and come for our meditations and that type of thing. Why? Because as we nurture that relationship, now did you hear those words? Nurture that relationship, and that's exactly what it is. It's not something that we can use brute force strength, kind of like a jackhammer and dig through all this stuff, and there we've got that I, that peace. We nurture a relationship with it. And well, how do you do that, right? It's not about forcing. It's about developing it. It's about nurturing it. It's about working into a relationship with the I. What's the I? The I is our higher selves. The I is the universe. The I is that place of peacefulness, of stillness, of power, of completeness. As we nurture that, how do we do that? Well, this workshop is very much about that. It's about learning how to be still. Not because of our external circumstances, which is the way it tends to be if we look at the physical as being the definer of who we are, but despite them, in that we don't have to wait until the physical is just as it should be and our thoughts are right in order and our emotions right in order, because the short story is it's not going to happen, right? Life is managed, right? It's not like we get to that place where we're perfect and then everything's good. It's about managing it. So as we begin to nurture that relationship, as we begin to seek it out, right? Not search and destroy, but to seek it out and develop that and begin to practice, just to practice the steps that we talk about in the workshops. And as I said, even if you haven't attended them, I believe just watching these videos, you're going to get a lot out of it. By practicing learning how to be still, even being aware that there is that place that we can, and I often, talk about sort of sinking into it, not sinking in a bad way, but we can't force our way into it. We allow ourselves to gently begin to sink into that place. And how do we do that? Well, it's about managing our thoughts. It's about managing our emotions, really, and that's really where the power is. Because the physical, yes, we only have so much control over it, but our thoughts and our emotions are all on the inside, right? We talk about the practice of the lifestyle of meditation is really one of managing your internal environment. What's your internal environment? Well, it's your thoughts, your emotions, and that one blank spot on the triangle, which we will get to, and the letter I, and you. So you really have a choice in many ways. Do I choose to look at my life experience from the physical down, or look at it from this place of completeness up? And that's, that's really what so much of this workshop is about developing that. And it's not as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, congratulations, you're connected and you're meditating. It's about nurturing that relationship. It's about learning how to be still. It's about going through the steps that we've talked about. It's about understanding about the different aspects of our day-to-day experience, and those things that we have total control over, and the ones we want to really focus on managing, which is our best bang for our buck. And actually, as we do those, you will find actually that you gain a lot more ability to effectively and consciously influence your physical in the directions you would like to see it flow. That's kind of the neat thing about it, right? As we release the need to control the physical, in so many ways we gain the ability to control the physical. It's kind of crazy, but it's really, really true. And it's the difference between where our perspective and our point of reference is from. And that's really what we talked about in that third workshop. It is about nurturing that relationship. And where is that place, and what's the definition of that place? It's kind of 3 words, really. It's that place of peace, it's that place of stillness, and it's a place of power. And for managing our emotions, which we'll talk about in the next workshop, we do it from that place of peace, stillness, and power. Because so many times it's our emotions buried in our memories. Oh, I'll give you a clue to what that blank on the triangle that prevent us or create static. And so it's harder for us to see that place inside of us, because you see, it's always there, right? It's not going from the physical where I'll have to go find this, or I have to fix something so I'll find it. When you come from the other direction, it's always there. There's just some static in the air, there's confusion in the air, so we aren't able to see it. As we clear up that confusion, then we begin to just naturally, I was going to say find it, which is true, but I guess more accurate, maybe it finds us. And that's the really neat thing about this, is it is always there. It's just we've forgotten. And the desire of really this workshop series in a very large way is to help you remember and help you to rediscover what you already had. Okay? That is what we talked about in our third workshop. I will finish as I started. My name is Russ Latow. I'm the founder of the Healing Center and Convergence Reiki. Our website is www.healingcenter.ca, and that's center spelled CENTER.ca. Thanks for spending the time. If you've been attending the workshops, then I look forward to seeing you at our next one. And as I said, if you're just browsing these and you happen to find them on the window, find them as you're browsing through. Thanks for spending the time. If you have any questions, please feel free to email Russ, R-U-S as in Sam, S as in Sam, at healingcenter.ca. All right, thanks. See you later.